Hi, beautiful soul family. I've had quite a few messages today, and some of you, well, this could be for a very specific person, has been asking, are you on the right path? They want me to tell you most definitely. You're at a choice point, but they're asking, what are you going to choose? Is this something that you believe other people are not going to support you with, or do you feel that you haven't learnt enough yet? They're saying that you definitely have, but they want you to choose you. Most of the time when you learn things, it's about things that you need to know yourself as well. It's not always necessarily everything that you need to share with everyone. Life is ensuring that you meet your shadow. So there's a lot that's been coming up because this is a way for you to heal your inner wounds, to recognise what has been destroying you. So a lot of this has come up for that reason, but for also for you to see that you're on the right path now, because whereas before, you know, you'd break and maybe, you know, you'd have a lot of emotions that come up where you felt that you was right back at square one again, whereas now you're pushing forward and you're wanting to actually understand why things are happening to you. The moment that you've snapped is when everything changed for you. That basically you now know what you want to tolerate and what you don't anymore. You've set a lot of boundaries, or that you're wanting to set a lot of boundaries, and they're saying this is the right time to do it, because you are in a space now where people will understand, because whereas before you were so worried about speaking up that, you know, you didn't say anything, fear of losing people, whereas you've realised now that you lose people anyway, so you might as well be yourself and put, you know, the ones that keep breaking your boundaries are the ones that need to be leaving your life. And if you've been asking that, it is because you know this already, that you know this on a soul level already, that you know, you've put so much effort into so many things, but they're not giving the same effort back. That could be in a lot of numerous ways. That could be you giving your time to people, and when you find that it's time to come back round to help you, that they're not giving you the same. But they're saying that the reason that they're not is because just because you give that energy doesn't mean that other people are going to reciprocate it or see what you actually do. It's for you to see what you do for others, and that's one of your gifts. That, you know, when you're around people that have really negative energy, you change that energy around. You absorb it, which is why most of the time you will feel very depleted when you're around a lot of people. But they want you to learn how to. You know, there's a lot of videos on YouTube to learn how to either call your power back or how to protect your energy. I say, you know, one of my mantras is that I call my power back from anywhere that I've given knowingly or unknowingly away. I call it all back to me because it's mine. And you know, the more that you put that into practice, the more it's going to come back to you, and you'll start to feel your energy rising back up. A salt bath, you know, petals maybe in your salt bath, anything that's from nature, that'll soothe you. You know, doing simple things like when you've finished your bath, staying in the bath till the water's emptied. And imagine that all your worries is being washed down the plug hole, and that the water's taking the worries away. Very mindful that when you are in water or you're around water, washing up, whatever it is that you're doing, and you're touching water, what you speak to that water is so important. It's where I do a lot of my spiritual work, in all fairness, because water is very powerful. And what you speak to water, I mean, I like to speak to my water and state that this is going to nourish me, it's going to give me everything that I need, I'm very grateful for it, I bless my water, and then I drink it. Same principle as being in water, around water. You know, speak your truth to the water. It's very powerful, especially if you're around lakes, things like that. shout to the lake, talk to the lake about what you want to bring into your life, what you're ready to release. Like I said, they're saying that you're now brave enough to face your shadow alone on your own terms. You're beautifully on time, you're stronger than you've ever been, and they're saying welcome back. You're now starting to see who you truly are, and you know, this is one of your most powerful times. Like I said, they're saying that now you're starting to see that this is a time where because I've got a lot of notes written down here, obviously, of everything that they've said before I even get into the cards. There's been times that you've gone through things that you thought would end you, but you're here in a new cycle. And what was learned in that cycle? What did you learn? Did you learn that, you know, you are a very strong person, you're a kind, giving, sincere, loyal person? But what else did you learn on the flip side? What did you learn about yourself in your anger? You know, what made you feel anger? What situations got you in those points where you were angry? Because that's where you put boundaries. When you become angry, that's when you start to learn, hang on, this situation is not for me, and that's when you start to want to put boundaries in place. Because you start to value your time. You've probably been wanting a lot of quiet. Where you've maybe, you know, even your loved ones that you absolutely love, you just wanted silence. And that's because your body's gone through so much that it wants to have that silent time now, because that's where you get most of your intuition coming through. That's where you get your most time to acknowledge and understand yourself and feel what you've gone through. You know, even if you're not sat there mindfully thinking about what it is that you're going through and what you've released, that silence is so important to your body, because they're saying that rest time is very important, whatever that means to you. Like I say, whether that is a bath, whether that's sat reading a book, or whether that's just sat by yourself and just, you know, just having 5 minutes here and there. But they want you to, they're emphasising on being patient with people who are still learning, because I know that you've gone on this journey where you've learnt so much, but there's still a lot of people that have to go through certain situations that, you know, even if we do speak to them, which can be, you know, it's been feeling quite annoying, maybe that could be one of the reasons that you've been feeling a bit of anger towards people, or maybe yourself, is because you feel like you're not understood or you're not explaining yourself well enough. It's nothing to do with that. They want you to understand that there's still a lot of people that have to go through certain situations by themselves, because that's how you got through all your situations. It's how you evolved, and it's how you became enlightened. And where you are today on this journey is through the fact of you dealing with a lot of situations on your own. That's what's given you the strength, the courage and the wisdom, because you went within. You went on a journey of looking for things. You know, you've found a lot of information that's helped guide you along your way, and this is what other people are expected to do too. If you're there ready to catch everyone, they're not ready to, you know, each time they fall, they won't know how to stop themselves falling, because they haven't gone through the certain situations that you went through. Although it's absolutely amazing to be able to help others, they also have to learn how, that if they do fall, how to pick themselves up. You're about to see the truth about everything and why it all played out this way, because you are ready now. And this is what they want you to be really mindful of, is that by you healing, by you doing what you're doing, your steps, others around you are going to also see that and maybe follow through. And again, if they don't, that's because they're not ready to take that journey that you're on right now, and that's okay. They want you to ask yourself, if you had everything that you truly desired right now, how would that make you feel? Because they want you to stay in that feeling for a moment, really feel how it'd make you feel if you got everything that you truly desired. Or maybe you are starting to get everything that you truly desire, and how's that making you feel? And then majority of the time during the day, each day, they want you to also go back to that feeling, because you're rising and you're here to feel that feeling and be on a certain frequency, and that's going to get you onto that frequency by feeling, you know, how you'd feel if you did get all those emotions, how you would get if you got your desired outcome. They also want you to truly acknowledge how far you actually have come. And like I said, they're really emphasising on you being truly grateful for you've been truly grateful for how far you've got here on your own. So they're really emphasising on the fact of, you know, like giving yourself a pat on the back, giving yourself a cuddle, really feeling the cuddle and be proud of yourself because you've got yourself out of places that you never thought that you would. They also want you to know that the betrayal that cracked you open, you know, the things that you've gone through that truly cracked you open, that you really felt you couldn't get out of, that's where the light seeps in. You have gone through so many things that have got you to a point where you are becoming enlightened because the cracks helped the light seep in. Without the cracks, the light wouldn't seep in. Because you're not broken, you are being enlightened, and that's what they really want you to emphasise on. So each time that you find yourself in some difficult place, this is where you start to ask yourself the questions of, you know, where am I? You know, am I feeling this? Is this learning me? Am I growing from this? Or how can I grow from this? What's this going to bring in for me? So then obviously nature, when you're out in nature, even if that's just having a nice little walk somewhere, you know, they're saying that that's probably when you get your best knowledge. That's when you will feel most at peace. They're saying that that's where the elements start to come together, where you actually start to see how truly amazing that you are. That's when you can breathe. So then I pulled obviously a couple of question cards. What else could this mean? There are always multiple ways to look at every situation. Our first reaction is usually rooted in our fears and limited beliefs. Look at a situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask, what else could this mean? Is there something your soul is calling you to learn in this moment, or is there a pattern that is ready to be broken? Walk in the other person's shoes and see it from their perspective. If it doesn't involve someone else, ask yourself, how is life changing? How is it happening for me right now? But they're really wanting you to emphasise on the fact that you are at the right place at the right time. You've always been at the right place at the right time. It's just there were certain things that you had to go through for you to build up the strength that you now have, the knowledge that you have. If you'd have maybe taken that step, because there's maybe been something that you've been wanting to do for quite some time, but it's never been the right time, and they were saying there was a reason for that. There were certain things that you still had to learn on your journey. There were certain things that you still had to maybe understand in yourself, because this is all about the self. That you maybe if you know if you'd have gone in there sooner, maybe you wouldn't have had the knowledge that you have now. The healing that you already have, the healing that you've received. I also pulled the Star card. It says, I am hopeful and inspired by life right now, and everything that is happening points to a renewed sense of encouragement. After all the changes I have experienced, I'm starting to recognise the hope that comes with new beginnings. So you have new beginnings coming in. And this could either be, you know, a new friendship, a new job, a new partner. Anything that's new for you right now is designed and has been sent by God. This has all been orchestrated. You are at the right place at the right time. You will be at the right place at the right time when you meet this person. They really want to emphasise the fact of that, you know, you really, and you're questioning it right now, but they are saying that you are perfectly on time. But what are you choosing now? Are you choosing the old beliefs, or are you ready to release the old beliefs and bring in new? Because as soon as you accept the fact that that is an old pattern, you'll start to form new ones. But your spirit already knows what you're heading to. It's just our human self takes that little bit more time to catch on. But they're saying everything is happening in divine timing. So there's somebody that these cards just fell out as I pulled out my cards. Someone's watching you, trying to keep you trapped in fear. You are protected to speak your truth. So maybe there is something where you are meant to be speaking your truth. And this person was a very angry person. They're saying that it's now time for you to walk away. Maybe you've been thinking, shall I go back? Maybe you're thinking, should I not leave? All this. But they're saying, no, this person is always angry and it is nothing to do with you. This is to do with their inner self. And by you walking away, they maybe will heal and they maybe won't. Because, again, that's what it says here, be patient with people who are still learning. But that doesn't mean to say that you stay with them while they're doing that. Because your discernment's screaming at you now, telling you that what you want and what you don't want. So they really want to be emphasising that right now. They're saying, really get that message across that, you can't save other people. By you trying to save other people is what's been destroying you, and it's been a pattern. You've got to keep reminding yourself of how far you've come. Because it's you that's got you there throughout all of this. You're the one that's held everything together. And if it wasn't for you holding it together, it wouldn't have lasted this long. Yeah, because it's saying, I am self who continues to grow each day. But it's saying self. So this is the time where maybe you have been in hermit mode. Maybe this has been, because autumn time was the time that you started to see things for what it actually was. It was in the autumn time. Whatever that means to you, whatever autumn time is, maybe that could be a birthday, it could be something, but something happened in the autumn time for you to start seeing maybe the situation that you was in, maybe you started to see who you actually were. Okay. Doors are about to open up for you, paths are clearing, seeing things in a new light. So you are seeing things in a new light, and this is what they want to emphasise on as well. Like I said, that you have grown so much, and that doors are about to open up. But these doors are only opening up because of the choices that you've been making. These doors are opening up because you've let something go. And the doors wasn't opening for you. Because you've been saying, well, why is this not happening and why has that not been happening? Because I've been doing the work. But they were saying that if you'd have had a particular person or people around you at the time when you was asking for these things, these doors would not have opened. The doors are only starting to open up because you have made that choice. Whatever that choice is to you, you made the choice. We are all mirrors. What can you see in them that you could change in you? So maybe you have started to analyse, and maybe the reason that you did stay with them is because you was both very similar in a lot of ways. But the one thing that you was very similar in is the fact that you both mirrors towards each other. So you can be the nicest person in the world and you could get with somebody who's a certain particular way, and then you start to attract and manifest the same things as that person. So maybe you started to become angry. Maybe you started to get, to lash out maybe like that they did. Maybe you started to then not like yourself for the situation that they was in, that they was putting you in. Maybe that was for you to see and for you to feel and know that you can get yourself out of it because you did. Thank you. It is time to take the next step on your path or begin a new journey. Perhaps a change in direction or lifestyle is needed. So this is what they have been saying, that the old patterns have not worked, and this is the reason doors are opening up, because they want you to see the new path. Maybe you've created a new path, maybe you've been working on something, maybe you've been thinking of going to college or opening your own business or whatever that is to you. They're saying that these doors are now opening for that. It's time to take the next step. because you are starting a new journey now. And that's because you snapped. That is because you know what you won't tolerate anymore. Okay, okay. So maybe, like I said, that is because you made a life choice. Maybe you started to see others because you started to heal, and this happened in autumn, from what I'm hearing. Okay. They want you to look into your name meaning in spirituality, because there's a lot of coding behind of what you've been going through and why the reason. So your first name, Google first name meaning in spirituality, and it'll come up with quite a few different things. But they're saying that once you start to read it, your soul will resonate with it, and you know that it was meant for you to read, for you to see. They're saying you will understand why. Thank you. Yeah, you're an old soul, and you're here to inspire others. First, middle of last name, A, B, or C, the initials. So this could be yours or theirs. So A, B, or C. Number 17 could be a special day. You feel too much information is coming at you all at once. Time to take a break. Sit with self. Allow the silence to bring you peace, where you're not in control of everything. And they're saying that, you know, basically this is what they're saying, you're not in control of everything, and that's okay, but you are in control of your inner peace. Breathe. Everything always works out in the end, right? Always does, right? You cannot give from an empty cup. You are gaining knowledge and understanding to guide others. Be kind to yourself, all will be revealed. So yeah, you're becoming you know, you're the one that's here to inspire others. They're wanting you to take that next step, because the doors are opening up for you. You know, yourself who grows each and every single day. This is why life ensured that you met your shadow self, because that's where you've learned what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. Oh, I got the blank card. What's your story that you wanted to write? This is a clean page. You're getting a clean slate. This is your time to rewrite your story. Your old story gave you purpose. Your old story gave you a reason to get to where you are today. But they're saying that's, you know, because you're at a choice point, which are you choosing now? This is where you get the clean slate. This is now, like I say, where, you know, you're looking to changing the story. Your avatar got tired. I'm not sure if it was Jim Carrey, I think it was Jim Carrey where I heard this saying, and they just shot it out. So it was Jim Carrey, and he said that depression is your body's way of saying, well, your avatar that you play, because you're playing a character every single day, because you can rewrite your story anytime, that your avatar has got sick of playing the story that you've created. Because throughout everything from birth, we are shorn away from, whether it be our parents, siblings, aunties, uncles, grandmas, friends, teachers, whoever it is that's come on your path. We picked up little bits from each one of them. And before we know it, like even talking, it can be anything. You pick up a story of somebody else's. You become, say for instance, your partner that you've been with, like I was saying, that you become part of that story. You know, if they're an angry person, you become the angry person. If you know, whatever that is to you. They're saying that's why you've been tired, and that's why you've been wanting to give up, is because your soul is sick of that story. And you're sick of that story, so you want to now create a new story. So they're saying the slate is now clear. You now have the ability to write your own story, because you're at a choice point now. Which are you choosing? Are you choosing your old thoughts? What are your old thoughts? You know, it's through our thoughts that we learn who we are, because our thoughts, our subconscious mind is programming us every single day. When we start to listen to our thoughts, that's when we get to see who our subconscious is. Thank you. When we go through challenges, we can feel everything is happening to us, but we need to see something. We awaken our power and call back your power. So this is what they've wanted you to see. Because they're saying that, yes, it did happen to us. It did. But there's something that you need to see within what happened. How did you grow from each situation that you was in? How did you feel in those situations? You know, and then this is where we can awaken our power by us seeing our story. Who we've been playing, who we've had around us that's been playing, and then you start to see that it all fits and it's all a pattern. Yeah, they're definitely emphasising to call back your power. Because they're saying, you know, I call back my power from places known or unknown that I've willingly gave it away or unwillingly gave it away. Whatever that means to you, whatever feels right for you to state, I call it all back to me now. And they really want you to call all your power back, because we've given it away to so many people. Maybe this happened in February. Something happened in February. You were born this way. So maybe you knew that you've always had special gifts. Maybe you knew that you always wanted to be, you know, you wanted to be seen. You're going to thrive. Whatever this is that you're choosing, so maybe you've been asking for a certain remedy. They're saying pineapple and mint before bed. Beet and ginger before food. So maybe this is about diet. Maybe this has been a choice. Because your self-who continues to grow each day, it's time to take the next step. They're also stating about the mirror, that what you see in the mirror, about the change in the mirror, that when you look into the mirror, instead of trying to clean the mirror is reflecting what you see. So if you're choosing to see a certain way about yourself, the mirror's always going to reflect that back. Or the other people are going to reflect that back. And again, this is, you know, this can go back to being the anger and everything else, but they're saying that you're not like this, you're born this way, you're meant to thrive. Remind yourself how far you've come. Someone is desiring you. They will bring hope and clarity. You deserve this. So maybe this is about love. Maybe this is about, you know, you're now brave enough to face everything. Maybe you have been in a time where you have stayed single. Maybe this is, you know, that you have wanted to grow. Maybe you've been doing this for quite some time. And they're saying that they're bringing somebody in for you. You're being distracted. Who is distracting you? Be present at this time. So this indicates to me that you, you know, there is somebody watching you to keep you trapped in fear. Maybe they're projecting this. Maybe they're calling out your name, because this is energy. Everything's energy. So if somebody projects onto you, they don't even have to be anywhere near you. But if they're projecting onto you, it's distracting you. You know, they could be seeing you in your dreams. Maybe that this person is keeping you trapped, but you are protected, and they need you to keep reminding yourself of this. Like I said, they're definitely like showing me to look into your name in spirituality, because this is what is going to bring you the clarity that you need. Never stop sharpening yourself, because the world only respects those who refuse to rust. So this is, like I said, this is because, like, I'm just putting this down now, on the moment that you snapped. So this could be autumn time or February. Something happened in autumn or February. You know, and they're saying that you snapped and now you're realising what you won't tolerate no more. Whatever that snapping is to you, you could have maybe cried out, screamed out, got angry, said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not what I want. I'm done with this. Everything starts to change when you choose thoughts that match what you want. When we think more about what we want and less about the things we don't, the universe responds to you. Spend time on changing the negative to positive. This also comes underneath never stop sharpening yourself. Which game are you choosing to play today? So this is about your thought patterns. This is about you, what you're choosing today. When you find that you're catching yourself in these situations where, you know, oh, this happened to me, or that happened to me, or, you know, I'm going through this again, why? And they're saying this is because it's a thought pattern. And although you have been changing your thought patterns, or that you are catching yourself doing that, it still is going to take time. But each day you're choosing to change your pattern and to say, okay, I understand that thought. I am now this person, and whoever you want to become, to state that clear, because you're transforming. Yeah. Your life is ensuring that you meet your shadow because you're changing. Your shadow has been there to protect you. Everything that's been in the dark is things that we've pushed down, that we didn't want to face. Yeah, because like I say, you are now starting to hear your thoughts, or you are starting to hear your thoughts, and you're starting to understand that it's a repetitive pattern every single day, because you're recognising that, and now it's not going to destroy you because you're transforming. You've learnt more from failure than from success. Don't let that stop you. Failure builds character. So no matter how much you feel that you're changing every day, you know, you have built up yourself because of all this failure that you believed was failure, but it wasn't. It was just stepping stones. Each time somebody threw a stone at you, you built a house with it. You've built a wall. You've gathered up all this, and it's made you strong. It's give you thick skin. But you was born this way. So you're going to thrive no matter what life throws at you. You know this. You've already seen all this throughout everything that you've ever gone through. You've seen this, you've witnessed this, you've lived this. You know? This next person that comes in, this person will be desiring you. Because you've been sharpening yourself. You now know what to look for. You know, you now know who is a kind, caring person, because you've read the room a million times since you were little. You've gone through the patternings of knowing who people are. We just needed that love so much that we settled for the first person who showed us that. And this is where Spirit's saying now that you're not settling anymore. You have sharpened up yourself. Because you are refusing to accept anything that isn't in alignment with you. And you know what aligns with your soul, or you will be knowing. Because you was born this way. It's time to take the next step on your path. A new journey begins. Because like I said, somebody is desiring you. Or maybe you're desiring you. Whatever that means to you. You're now brave enough. You've always been brave enough. But it just wasn't the right time. Everything happens in divine timing. What else do you want me to know? What has your soul been calling in? Has your soul been calling in someone to love? What is your soul calling you to? So your soul is calling in for you to share your voice. Maybe your story is going to heal others. It's going to inspire others because you have healed now from all this. You've gone through the pits of despair. But you decided that your soul wanted to grow. You decided that this is the time now. You've worked on your inner self. You've seen that your reflection was mirrored back to you, the things that you was becoming because of the people that you've been surrounding yourself by. But this is where they're saying now, that you have seen all this. You have been doing the work. Okay. So maybe you've been going through this situation where you've been friends with benefits. So you've got this one person here who's been watching, trying to keep you trapped in fear. This could be the person that's friends with benefits. Maybe this person's kept you to a point where you really wanted this person, but you're now realising that the situation that you've been going through has not been for you. That you really wanted this person to put in the effort and to see your value, but this person's never going to see your value because this person is too much in their own. And this is why the mirror's been reflecting everything back for you, to take back your power, for you to see that you're worth more than somebody who wants you for friends with benefits, because they're apologising because they're scared. Maybe you have seen this and maybe you've said, no, I'm not doing this no more. So this person's now apologising. They're pretending to be nice. But deep down you've already seen who they are. They've already shown you the type of person that they are. And maybe by you going through this now, you can help others as well on this journey, because you now see what to look for in these people. You're no longer under their control. Release them. So yeah, this is a person that you've been having friends with benefits with. This is a person that's had you. Maybe they have been chanting your name. Maybe they have been calling out, looking at a picture of you, and it's been enticing you back all the time. And you've been wondering, why do I keep going back? What is it that keeps holding me here to this person? But that's because they keep apologising and telling you it's different, and then they'll be great for a few days and then they're back to doing the same thing again. And this is where Source is saying now, you're no longer under their control. It's all an illusion. They want you to release them. Is there anything else on that? Oh, maybe there. Okay. So this has all been an illusion. This has kept you trapped in this mindset of not feeling good enough. That's 2 minutes. What else is there on this friends with benefits? I've lost you on that part there. So what is this situation on this friends with benefits? What's the advice? So something's going to be happening with this person. They're saying, but there's, because you won't see this coming. But what they want you to know is there's no more fear. Take back your control. So, maybe you have, like I said, maybe you've spoken up. Maybe you have spoken your truth. And maybe you've said that, that you don't want this anymore. And that's the reason the doors are opening up. And maybe that's the reason that they're coming in. Is that the reason that they're starting to come back in? Because they're knowing. Don't be afraid of the challenges ahead. They are not roadblocks, but stepping stones to your success. I was just saying the stepping stones. The stones have helped you build your home. They have helped you build your wall. You now know who you want to enter into your property now. You now know who you want around you. Because these stepping stones, these things that people have been throwing at you, have helped you. So they want you not to, not to be afraid of what's coming, because you've because like I said, they are going to come back in and apologise, and you are going to feel, that it's a really sincere apology, but they're asking me to really emphasise on the fact of that this is not a sincere apology, that they've done this numerous amounts of times, and because you love them, or you did love them, or, when you're really infatuated with somebody and you don't know why you're infatuated with somebody, it's because they are doing spell work. And whether that is, like I said, looking at pictures, chanting your name, calling you in, thinking about you all the time, that's like a spell. They're really bringing you back in. And like I said, first, middle, last name, A, B or C. Past patterns resurfacing to see if you learn. Loving release what you no longer serve you. So they are going to be coming back in with an apology, pretending to be nice. Because your voice is healing. You are a healing person, and they feel that. But they're massively saying, like I said, that you're not under their control anymore. And you will feel this now. When they do come back around, you're about to see the truth behind everything and why it all played out this way. You're ready now. Maybe you wouldn't have been ready before if you'd have seen all this now. You would have always gone back no matter what. This was always meant to happen. They really want you to know that. You're a soul having a human experience. Be kind to yourself, one step at a time. If we had everything we truly desired right now, how would you feel? Stay in that feeling for a moment. Then remember that feeling always. Keep going back. Love coming in for you. Oh. You want me to take, there's quite a few here, but they want me to take these. Love coming in for you. You will feel out of this world. You deserve this. Wish granted. Release past. Opened up abundant doors that you deserve. So this is the second time doors are about to open up for you. When you release this past, that's when these doors are opening up. Yeah, they did this all out of jealousy. Because they can feel that you like. When they're around you, they get some form of... I got shown this one the other day in the read. That when they come around you, they get this extraordinary, power. This is... they'll find that people who don't normally talk to them will be buying them a pint, for instance. This is just a scenario. They'll have people coming up and talking to them, maybe messaging them, male or female, either way. They're saying you're the only one that has seen them for who they truly are, deep down. They don't like that you truly see them. And yeah, like I said, they're doing all this out of jealousy because they know that you are now sensing the BS that they've been putting you through. But this person with friends with benefits now, they're only apologising because they're scared of losing this energy that you give. Because now people are starting to see them for who they truly are, because your energy is now wearing off on that person. You got money coming in from sources known or unknown. Yeah, so this is what they want you to say every day. I've got money coming in from sources known and unknown every day. It's over. It's okay. We can and will start again. So every time you find this person that's replaying over in your mind, remind yourself, now I understand what that part was for now, because I couldn't quite grasp what that was. They kept saying you'll see it soon. This person that you've been dealing with keeps coming up into your mind, and this is what they want you to release. And each time that you find that you are thinking of them, it is because they are really thinking about you, and they know that this has worked because it's worked for them many times before, whether in this lifetime or other lifetimes. They know exactly what energy that they're putting out there. But you are an old soul, and you are starting to see this now, and this is the right time now for you to see this. You're in apprenticeship, gaining knowledge, learning and employing a new craft or skill. Even masters of their craft have more to learn. develop a greater understanding and find new ways to apply what I know. See, this is what I said from right at the beginning. That there's something that maybe you've been wanting to bring in and you hadn't felt like, you know, you was good enough for this thing, and maybe you were scared to do it, but this is what they're saying now. You know, you are the apprenticeship and you are gaining knowledge, and the more that you do something, the better you're going to become at it. No matter how good you are, every single day is a new learning thing. It's like, I remember when I started doing these reads, I'd always point out specific things that I saw come up in the card rather than going into too much detail because I was scared to get it wrong. And it's taken me a long time to do reads for friends and family. You know, I do a lot of reads, and the more and more and more that I've done them over the years, the more confident that I've got to be able to give the messages that I receive. Because I doubted the messages that I got. Because I thought that was just all in my mind, and I was just, you know, just like fairy tales, as, you know, people would say. But the more and more I started to give the messages, the more that I knew that, you know, at the time the person would say, I needed that, how did you know? And that's your soul, and they're saying the same things for you. You're here, you was born this way, you know? Again, look into your first name, your first name that you was given at birth. Look into the meaning of it, because there lies your answers. A lot of us come here with specific things that we have to go through, that we have to learn, that we have to understand before we can even open ourselves up to where we're meant to actually be. Because everything is designed to get us to see. Oh gosh, chicken off. Everything's been designed for us to see how strong we truly are, and then in that growth, it's like a carpenter. You know, wasn't born with a chisel and sorry, don't quote me on that one if I get that wrong. But they're not born with the tools in the hand. They learn to develop, to pick them up and to use them in their own unique way. And then a carpenter becomes a master of the craft. And this is what you, male or female, is going to be. You know, you are going to thrive in whatever it is. It's time to rest my mind and allow peace to take the place of busyness or boredom. The mind needs quiet to think and find clarity. If I allow my mind to rest, I will have greater clarity and my mind will be sharper. This is a time for a break. I need to take care of myself. So this comes out, just as I say, the chisel, about being sharper, about your craft, about your skill. You know, this is all about you taking that time to develop and to go in. And it's okay to be bored, because in that boredom, what we think is boredom is actually where we get our best inspiration. I love my peace. You know, I needed somebody around me at all times. If my children went to the dads, I used to sit twiddling my thumbs and I didn't know what to do with myself. And then I started to build like units out of cardboard boxes for my daughter. I built her this amazing, this is just one example, I built her an amazing shelf unit out of cardboard, and it's still solid. It is absolutely amazing, and we're just at a point now, because she's got to a certain age and she's got into certain things that she really enjoys now. So we're now going to change the design. I mean, I spent hundreds of pounds cutting out bits of magazine pieces and putting it on, and it looks absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud that I did that. And I still look at it and think, how did I do that? You know? But she's gone from like trolls and Shopkins and everything like that. You know, because she had it for all, she had, like, it was like a shop. I'd made her own little, like, stand with her own, I made the actual till, with an ear on it and everything. And now she wants to change it into the theme that she really enjoys now. And like I said, I spent hundreds of pounds and I cut out so many things out of all these different magazines, and, you know, I ordered pictures and I did all sorts with it. And I honestly, I'm amazed by what I did. But that's what came out of my boredom. Then I had certain things that went on in my life where I thought, I thought my house. I ended up with spiritualists that came into my home to help me clear and cleanse my house because of what was going on. It was one of the roughest times of my life, in all fairness, and things started to escalate in my home, and it got really bad that I had to actually move out of my home for a little while. And then when the spiritualist came in, they explained to me what that was and what I had to do, and that's when they came in and told me to pick up a deck of tarot cards, say that was my purpose, and that once I picked them up and I learnt them myself rather than read the books, that I would understand why everything was the way that it was. And then from there, I just knew. That was my calling, and I always questioned what my calling would be. I've done so many different things throughout my life, and this has been the one thing that I live, breathe, and sleep this thing. Like, it's taken me a year to make my deck that, guides have shown me what to write and what messages to put in there, and, I tend to use this more than I actually use the tarot cards. I use the tarot cards for clarification. But yeah, they're saying that once you start to enjoy the boredom, because maybe you have not had the boredom, maybe, you have the boredom, but then you'll fill it with something where there's no silence. So, the miracle tone of nature, because it did the serenity of nature that came through, yeah. You at your best self when you're in nature. They want you to listen to 432. Yeah, the miracle tone of nature. Because, like I say, you are the star. I so love when the first couple of cards that come out, that every single card out of thousands of my cards, the cards come out exactly how they should. So maybe you are the male, or maybe this is the male doing this, but they're wanting you in pain. They're saying that they're wanting you in pain. But by you putting everything in the right place, because they're saying divine feminine. So maybe you're the masculine watching this, or maybe you have a divine feminine, no matter what gender that you are. Oh no, sorry, actually, no. They're asking me to say that either way, you're masculine and feminine anyway. But this is for one specific person, this message. And you'll know, obviously, from out the read that what's going on. They're wanting you in pain, and they're saying no more now. Your voice is healing, and share your story. Oh. It's your time, the start of something new. What you do now is very important. Magical events for creativity in work or home and relationships. Realising your true potential. Study subjects that will shape your future. You have control over your life. You always have. Time to see how truly magical you are. You were the best thing in my life. I want to feel that way again. How can we get there again? No, they're saying no, please. That this is what they're going to come in and say. You were the best thing that ever happened to them. Yeah, because they're saying, who's this person that's angry? They want you to, they're angry because you are starting to love yourself again. They're saying, keep moving, keep shining. Don't go back there. Like I said, they're going to come in and say that you were the best thing in my life. I want to feel that way again. How can we get there again? And they're saying that you're never going to get there again. And if you do revisit this, yeah, envious of your light and the fact that you're becoming popular. Because you're no longer under their control anymore. Because they're wanting you in pain. Yeah, like I say, you're going to know who this person is. Well, you know who this person is anyway, because it's been friends with benefits. It's a person that you class as having friends with benefits. Because they're saying past patterns resurfacing to see if you learn anything. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. They're saying lovingly release what no longer serves you today. Any more coming from this? Is there anything else that we need to know? Yeah, they're sending you lack in your peace. They're saying that they need you to call back your power. I'm sorry, that's back to front. But they're saying that they're sending you lack in your peace because they can see how far that you're actually going. They're saying that you're being prepared. Right now, you're being prepared. You were born this way, and you're going to thrive. You know, they're saying this is your time now. Just okay. This is either you or them. Can't eat, can't sleep. I think this is me. I think this is them, not you. Because they have put you in this where you have not been able to eat or sleep. In despair of not knowing what's been going on with them. Maybe they've left you unanswered on messages, calls. This is now going to be their karma. They're going to look for you in everybody. They're going to look for you in everybody, and they're never going to find you. They prayed for somebody like you. They prayed every day for somebody like you. And then when you came along, they took you for granted. And this is what ancestors are wanting you to know now. You know, that you are now going to inspire others with your story. Your ancestors have been waiting for someone with your strength. We are proud of you. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that you need them to know? You're not carrying others' emotional burdens now. Time to remove yourself of the burdens. Yeah, because this is it now. This is just the same message over and over and over again. You know, you're going to thrive when you choose you. And I massively believe that you are choosing you now. Maybe you have a daughter. This daughter's coming up quite a lot. What's the name? Can I have clarification on what this daughter, why is this daughter here? Can you show me please, Spirit? Why is daughter here? Because last time it was a different message, so why is daughter here? Maybe you have a daughter to this person. You have a daughter to this person. Oh gosh. A daughter is a Pisces. Or maybe they're a Pisces. What's this daughter card, please, Spirit? Where's the daughter card here? Have I answered the questions? Not like that. Where's the daughter card? Okay. I've cleansed and shuffled all these cards before starting. Why is the daughter card here? Oh, Pisces daughter card. Oh. Oh, maybe that's why you're walking away, because you have got a daughter to this person, or your daughter is seeing what you're going through right now, and you haven't wanted her to see that. You wanted her to see that your mother... Okay, or maybe you're the male, and you have a daughter, and maybe your daughter's seeing this, and maybe you haven't wanted her to see this. Maybe your daughter's seen you hurt by this woman. Take it as that resonates. Maybe your daughter started to ask questions. Maybe she started to get inquisitive on what's actually going on. Is that right? I think this is for two separate people. Yeah, maybe your daughter has started to ask questions into the scenario, and maybe this is why you're realising now that maybe this is the reason that you maybe this could be, like I said, February or autumn time, where you started to... Oh, February is autumn, isn't it? Because now you are honouring your emotions. Because maybe this woman or this person was, you know, laughing, and maybe it was seen, and you was in despair. And it was starting to become really obvious now that this person was really envious of... Oh, yes, I know. Because they're starting to see. They're inquisitive about it now. And maybe this is the reason why you chose to choose self now and walk away. But love is coming in. You know, when you walked away, you took all your power back, and now the divine is blessing with somebody who's equally yoked. Somebody now who's not. Somebody who is equally creative as you, because you made that choice. And you chose a leap of faith. Judgment was called. Because you saw, yeah, because now you are creating now. You're all... See, I see this as each point as this is you abundantly now seeing that you have everything, everything that you need, everything that you have needed, everything that you've been wanting. You're now the master of, because you've seen through the illusions of the heartbreak that this person was putting you through. This person is now going to feel this now. It's going to be... Yeah, they're going to now go through everything that they put you through. But they're saying now that they don't want you to... Because you're a type of person that, you know, will feel bad and hurt because now this person's going to be hurting. Because this is what you never wanted this. But the Spirit's wanting me to emphasise on the fact that you did not want this, no. And you did everything that you possibly could within your power to gain their love. But this is what they're saying, like, this was to them. They was always hanging around, like, happy in the knowing that you was the way that you was, and they was laughing about it. And this is where Spirit wants you now to, you know... Well, they were actually, sorry, this is what's showing me massively, they was actually laughing with the person that they was seeing somebody else too, and they both thought that it was incredibly funny that you saw what they was doing, but you know, you desperately loved them that much. But Spirit's saying you didn't desperately love them, you desperately was seeking yourself. And once you saw this, you quite gladly said you can keep them. I'm done this time now, I'm walking away, but they still believe, nah, that's not going to happen. But they're saying that this is why this is coming in now, because Spirit wants to know if you have learned, if you have started to love and trust yourself now. This is where you now daughter yourself, this is where you love yourself. This is where it all goes back to you. And by you doing that for yourself, this is where Spirit's saying, you know, your doors are opening up. You were born this way, and you're going to thrive. You are going to thrive. Share your voice. Your story's waiting to be heard by others. I hope this truly resonated with someone. I know that when I start my reads, I ask Spirit, you know, no hashtags, no nothing. I hope that Spirit leads this video to somebody who desperately needed to hear this. I wish you all the love in the world, and I hope you truly do your craft. I hope that life offers you the beautifulness that you have radiated to others, because you are the star. Yeah, if this did resonate with you, drop me a comment. Like my video, subscribe. I would be truly grateful. Mwah, sending love. Take care. Happy healing.